Just before we start, guys, I just want to say thank you so much for helping this channel get over 200 subscribers. Oh, it's amazing. Thank you so much. Hello everybody, this is Delta, and we're back in If My Heart Had Wings. I'm guessing we have about maybe 2 to 3 parts left of Kotori's route, maybe? Anyway, let's carry on. I paced back and forth in front of the dorm telephone. Yeah, definitely. I paused mid-response. Kotori was taken to the hospital in an ambulance. Hibari went with her, and I had only heard a little from her. While she had no visible injuries, Kotori was going to be given a thorough examination. Luckily, the wing hit her wheelchair, so Kotori was only knocked out of it. That's good then. Oof. Hibari was supposed to contact me and let me know the results, but I still hadn't heard anything. I stared at the silent phone. Ooh. I let out a frustrated sigh as the doorbell rang. Only a moment later, there was a sudden banging at the door.
Nani?
Come in! Come in. Agia backed up and opened the door. Standing there was a breathing fat man. Tapioca, sensei? Well, I think she's okay, but not her wheelchair apparently. Tapioca yelled as soon as he saw me. How did he know? Why was he that frantic? Hundreds of questions popped into my head. She's still at the hospital. I told him the directions I had heard from Hibari. She had no obvious injuries. They are giving her a thorough examination right now. Very thorough. Calm down. Looking closely, I could see he was sweating. Oh, I don't want to imagine that. Besides breathing heavily, sweat was beading on his forehead and messing up his thinning hair. It seems like he had heard about the accident and instantly ran here. No, not seems like. Oh the fudge. Morino-sensei should be at the hospital. Morino-sensei is our homeroom teacher. Ah, okay, there we go. But Tapioca isn't. Why would he rush all the way out here? It's only Tapioca, don't worry. That's a weird tune. Amane had come running from the dining hall after hearing the noise. Tapioca glared at Amane as soon as he saw her. What's she done wrong? Nothing. Leave her alone. Again. Ooh, I wonder. Amane stood still, seemingly paralyzed by fear from the vicious reprimanding that Tapioca barked. He then gave us all a rage-filled stare.
Soaring
Don't blame us, blame the weather. Blame the wind. Oh dear. He spoke as if he had some deep-seated grudge. When finished, he marched out of the dorm. He was likely headed to the hospital Kotori had been taken to. No clue. I have no idea. Tapioca was mad. I could understand and even have predicted that much. He was more than angry. However, I could see that he was genuinely worried about Kotori. He wasn't her homeroom teacher, supervisor, or even someone who had much contact with her. He had no particular reason to feel that strong about Kotori. While that was probably normal for a teacher, it still seemed way too strong. Amane spoke quietly. We had repeated this conversation a number of times after Kotori had been taken to the hospital. Akari had said, you can't be recognized as a club unless you have a supervisor, which is why we asked Amane. That was just a front though. We intended to take all the responsibility were something to actually happen. But the truth is that when something did happen, Amane would be the one to take the fall. Oh yeah.
でも引き受けたのは私だ。飛岡先生が怒るのは当然だ。 先輩。
There was nothing that could be said to console her. All we could do now was pray Kochi was okay. Yeah. It's been a long day. I see. I see. Really? That's good. Yes, I see. Thank you for going through the trouble to call me. Please tell her I said hi. I'm guessing that was Hibari? I'm guessing. I let out a sigh of relief and set down the phone.
なんだって？
They said they didn't find anything wrong. She'd be spending the night at the hospital just to be safe.
よかった。
Yep.
よかったです。
Whew. Yep, lots of sighing. That was Hibari on the phone. She had called to explain Kotori's situation.
無事だったみたいね。
Yep. Kaneko came out from the hallway and gave us all a look. Sorry that I kept you worrying.
本当だよ。
Oh yeah, and
ね
Hat.
え、ハット先輩。クワクワ。
While there was no way Hat knew what happened, his quack made it apparent he knew Kotori's absence meant something was wrong.
ゆかさんたちにも教えてこようっ
Go do that. Kaneko left the dining hall, taking Hat with her.
と。それじゃあ、私そろそろ帰るね。
And now you're off. Okay, I'll walk with you for a bit. What are you going to do, Amane? I'll prepare a room if you want to stay here.
いや、仕事があるから戻るよ。何かあったら知らせてほしい。
Got it. Knowing that Kochi was okay, we were finally able to move away from the phone. And relax. Sunset. I went outside with Agiha. The cicadas sure have gotten quiet.
もう夏も終わりだもんね。
Have they? That sounded quite loud, unless that was a bird. After a few days, it'll be September, and summer vacation will be over. So much had happened to us this month that it was over before any of us knew it. Agia stopped unexpectedly. What's wrong?
葵。
What's wrong, Agia? Agia folded her hands around mine. Agia? Her hands were trembling. Not only her hands, but her shoulders, her knees, her lips. It was as if the trembles had taken over her entire body.
安心したら急に怖くなってきちゃって。ごめん。ちょっとの間だけ。
Okay. I answered briefly and began to hold her hands back in return.
倒れてる小鳥を見たとき、すごく怖かった。
Everyone was.
小鳥にもしものことがあったらどうしようって。怖くて。
As she whispered this, Agia was shaking as if she had chills. It was as if her blood was frozen, the same feeling I had when I saw what happened to Kotori. It was a truly horrifying, chilling moment. I held Agia's hands tightly. I wasn't sure if it was to comfort her or myself.
少し落ち着いた。
Agia let go of my hands.
ありがとう、葵。
Don't mention it. I feel a bit relieved myself.
小鳥には後でちゃんと謝っとくね。葵の手を借りちゃったって。
You do that. Agia smiled and laughed. She was back to her normal self. We continued to walk. To where, I do not know.
日が沈んでく。
Yep. Agia whispered as she looked up the slightly hilly road we were walking on. The setting sun gave the sky and clouds an orange glow.
この分じゃ明日も来そうにないね。
Nope. Yeah. On the night before the morning glory's appearance, the eastern sky is purple. Last year, we saw a bluish, purple sky. The next morning, Amane was cursing at the sky. Tonight's moon was orange as always. The morning glory won't be coming tomorrow. Another year to wait. I hope it doesn't come while Kotori's not here.
本当だよ。そんなことになったらあの子一生根に持つよ。
Mm-hmm. Well, kind of. Oh yeah, what happened to the glider?
あ、
What?
見てあれ。
We could see the shadow of about 5 people on the runway. They were dismantling our glider.
先生たちだ。
Amongst the faces I saw teachers from our school. Hey, what are you doing?
おい、みなせ。 邪魔するんじゃないぞ。
Of course. Tapioca.
言っただろう。グライダーは没収すると。
Dismantling it
お前たちが学校から盗み出したものだがな。
as well. They took off the main wing and dumped it into the back of a truck.
やめて、そんな積み立てしたら翼が。
Aggie ran up to the teachers.
このトレーラーを使ってください。
A trailer made specifically for transporting the glider was nearby. Aggie realized stopping them was not possible. Instead, she focused on helping them use the trailer. She didn't want the glider to get damaged.
葵も手伝って。
Okay.
いい心がけだ。
Shut up, forehead. We showed the teachers how to dismantle it and got it loaded onto the trailer.
積み込みが完了したら学校へ運んでください。
Tapioca gave orders to the other teachers. What are you going to do with the glider?
お前たちには関係ない。
Wow.
言っておくが、次もし盗っ人のような真似をしたら。
I hope you swallow a fly. Ugh.
それでは車を出してください。
The trailer and the car pulling it began to move. After confirming it was okay, Tapioca went over to his own car. At that moment, he turned his head to look at us. When our eyes met, he looked at me as if nothing had happened. He proceeded to get into his car and drive off the runway. All we could do was watch it leave. So, things are going well. The next day.
たったいまー。
Hello! A bit after noon, Hibari brought Kotori back.
小鳥先輩。
Aha!
姉さん、ストップ。
Asa lunged towards Kotori, but Yuro held her back. Are you like pulling onto her like twin tails? My god.
病み上がりだってば姉さん。
You'll injure her more. Hat flew over to Kotori and sat on her lap.
ただいま、ハット。
Seeing her like this, I let out a sigh of relief. Everyone had waited here for her to come back.
いやー、なんか悪いわね。勢揃いでお出迎えしてくれちゃって。
Kind of.
ほんと。
Oh, she's back, never mind.
何様だよ、あんた。
Is the Malay here? So is everything alright?
なんともないわよ。ちょっと頭を打っただけだから。
And you got knocked out because of that?
軽い脳震盪だってさ。
Okay, never mind, there we go.
本当は昨日のうちに帰りたかったんだけど、ひばり姉が心配性でさ。
You know that glider must have really hit the wheelchair really hard. Yeah.
でもほら、もうこの通りピンピンしてるから。
Kotori was waving her arms all around and being unusually talkative. Her wheelchair was a bit banged up. That must have been where the wing hit. Just from seeing her wheelchair, I could tell how hard the impact was. I guess it was very hard. I'm sorry, Kotori.
なんで葵が謝るのよ。
If I hadn't left your side, this would have never...
それは違うでしょ。私が勝手に離れたんだから。あれは私の不注意。他の誰も悪くありません。それになんともなかったんだから問題ないでしょ。
Blame the wind. Hibari stood behind her cheerful sister with a solemn expression on her face.
さてと、
Oh
そんじゃ訓練を
no!
再開しましょ
She doesn't know!
う。え？
Practice, but you...
だって
This is getting worse
昨
and
日中途半
worse!
端になっちゃったでしょ。まだ本番を想定したフライトできてないし、
It's all over.
病院の窓から空を見ながら
It's
気が
all
気じゃ
over,
なかったわ
Kotori.
よ。
We're
今モーニン
doomed.
ググローリーが来ちゃったらどうしようって。さあ行きましょう。時間がもったいない。
Too late.
バカなこと言わないで。
I thought that would happen. A scream suddenly ripped out of the pale Hibari.
昨日あんなことがあったばかりなのよ。
She doesn't look that pale.
あんなことって
Nothing's
別
changed.
に大した怪我じゃなかったんだし、たまたま運が良かっただけよ。また同じことがあったら次はどうなるかわからないわ。お願いひばりね。モーニンググローリーがもう来ちゃうの。
It's too late.
多分今夜か、そうじゃないなら明日か明後日か。もう
It's
時
too
間
late.
がないの。
It's way too late.
ダメよ、許さないわ。
It's too late to apologize.
バリね。
I'm not gonna sing. I'm not gonna let your ears bleed, people. Kotori, at least right now, you should rest. I mean...
葵まで休んでる暇なんてないの知ってるくせに。
Oh, you have plenty of time to rest.
私なら大丈夫よ。お医者さんのお墨付きももらってきたんだから。
I didn't know whether or not to tell her about the glider being confiscated. If I told her, she would be devastated. She would absolutely feel that was all her fault. Without me saying anything, Hibari began to speak.
もうダメなの、小鳥ちゃん。たとえ私がいいって言っても続けられないわ。どういうこと？
Uh-oh. It's gonna get worse. The front doorbell rang. We weren't expecting anyone right now. It was probably a teacher or someone like that. I'll be right there. After opening the door, a well-dressed man in a suit walked in.
お父さん？
Oh no.
小鳥
Seeing his daughter, he ran over and kneeled down next to her wheelchair.
頭を打ったんだって？大丈夫なのかい？
平気よ。なんともないわ。
けれど昨日は入院したんだろ？
ただの検査入院。
Right.
ちょっと坂道で転んだだけだから。小鳥ちゃん、お父さんは全部ご存知よ。
He knows! Oh god! He knows! It's getting worse and worse!
全部お話ししたの。事故の原因も小鳥ちゃんが隠れて言っていたこと。
Oh. This is where it starts. Saying nothing, Kochi's father looked at her with tears in his eyes. Kochi turned to look at Hibari.
約束が違う。夏休みが終わるまで待ってくれるって言ってたのに。言わないわけにはいかないでしょ。
That is true.
でもそんなことしたらお父さんたちが。
Kochi glanced over at her father. He was looking at her with intense sadness. She turned her head away in shame.
私たちがどんなに心配するかちゃんと分かっていたんだね。それなのに。
違うの、お父さん。だってそうしないと許してくれないから。だから。
当たり前じゃないか。お前は自分がどうしてそんな体になってしまったのか忘れたのか。
Isn't it her choice what she does with her life, though? Yeah. Kochi shook her head.
じゃあどうしてグライダーなんて危険な乗り物に乗ったりしたんだ。
Her father's voice was quiet yet reproachful. Kochi hung her head low and said nothing in response.
お願いお父さん。夏休みが終わるまででいいの。
It's too late.
私にグライダーを続けさせて。
ダメだ。
Oh dear.
お父さん。
そんな危険な遊び続けさせるわけにはいかない。
It's not that dangerous,
私
in a way.
ここにいるみんなと一緒に頑張ってきたの。
Safer than a balloon, I think.
遊びじゃないの。真剣なの。
Kochi's father looked at his daughter with sad eyes.
グライダーで空を飛んだからなんだと言うんだ。そんなもの危険なだけじゃないか。遊びたいならもっと他のことをすればいい。お父さんが探してあげるから。
違うの。
It's not the same.
そうじゃないの。
Kochi was searching for the right words to defend herself, but she could not find them. Why she wanted to fly, why it had to be a glider, she needed to be able to say why she had those feelings. Whatever words she would pick, however, just would not convey her feelings to anyone else. Looking at his daughter struggling for words, he let out a heavy sigh.
もうここには置いておけない。さあ、お父さんと一緒に家へ帰ろう。
Someone say that the glider's been confiscated or something. That should help. In one way.
そんな。待ってよ。話を聞いてよ。
Kochi threw her head up to protest, but her father began to wheel her out while completely ignoring her. Please wait, Habani-san. I couldn't help but throw myself between Kotori and her father.
水瀬さん。
He looked at me with puzzled eyes. When he called a few days before, Kochi's father had completely trusted me. I had betrayed that trust. Like Kotori, I had not said things that should have been said. We all worked towards getting Kotori to be able to fly. You said it on the phone, didn't you? About how Kotori changing was all due to me? That's not right. It was all due to the glider. And all of her friends here. Kotori nodded desperately. This time, there was an accident, but our goal is right in front of our eyes. If you say Kotori can't fly, then she can't. But please, please, at least let her finish this. I spoke as earnestly as I could. My head was bowed to him.
私からもお願いします。お願いします。小鳥先輩のお父さん。お願いします。
Her father looked at the members of the soaring club, each with their heads bowed.
この子がハンデを負っていることはあなたたちもよくご存知のはずだ。あなたたちが普通にできることもこの子にはできないんですよ。
He spoke in a quiet yet grave tone.
この子をあなたたち普通の若者の夢に巻き込まないでやってください。
Kotori's perfectly normal.
お父さん、そんな言い方やめて。
Yeah.
本当のことだ。
Kotori turned pale as she heard what her father was saying.
私、すごく頑張ったのよ。いっぱい練習して上手になったの。ちゃんと自分で操縦して飛べるようにもなったんだから。
それはここにいる皆さんの助けがあってのことだろ。
Doesn't everyone need help in the end, honestly?
それにグライダーはとっても安全な乗り物なんだから。だから私が乗ったって。
お前が家を出るとき、
Ah, fudge. One sec.
お前が家を出るとき、私たちに言ったことを覚えているかい？お前はこう言ったんだ。お父さんたちに心配をかけてばかりなのが嫌だ。だ
That
から
totally
一人
ruined
で
the
警
mood,
部
didn't
学園
it?
に行きたいと。
その気持ちは今も変わってない。
As she said that, her father ran his hand over the damaged part of her wheelchair.
たまたま当たったのが車椅子だったからよかった。もし体のどこか頭にでも当たっていたら。さあ帰ろう小鳥。お母さんも心配してる。早く安心させてやってくれ。
He starts pushing her wheelchair. If I didn't do anything, Kotori would be gone forever. Wait!
待って、お父さん。
Kotori stopped the wheels.
小鳥。
お願い、ここにいさせて。グライダーやめるから、もう乗らないから。だからお願い。私、ここにいたいの。
Kotori's father looked at his crying daughter with sadness in his own eyes.
お父さんたちの気持ちも分かってくれ。
What about her feelings?
私、帰りたくない。
小鳥。
ねえお父さん、小鳥ちゃんに少し時間をあげて。今夜は私が小鳥ちゃんを引き取るから、少し落ち着いてからお話ししましょうね。小鳥ちゃんもそうしましょう。
Kotori's father silently nodded.
また迎えに行く。それまでこの子を頼む。
I'm not crying
小鳥。
yet.
後でお母さんに電話して元気な声を聞かせてあげておくれ。
分かった。
Hibari made a slight bow to us and began to push Kotori's wheelchair. Kotori! Kotori is going to leave. As I started to run after them, Kotori's father turned to face me.
これは私たち家族の問題なんです。
I'm sorry, Dad, but I'm part of this family now too. He said this with an anguished look on his face, and then proceeded to put his head down and leave.